Pioneer fans, Pioneer men's varsity soccer is live and on the air. We are live from Riverbank Stadium, where it is your Pioneer men's varsity soccer team taking on the Huron River Rats. Big crosstown rivalry between these two fantastic teams. Pioneer is 3-1 on the season. They started off with a loss at Woodhaven. That was a 3-2 loss. Then they've won 3 in a row. They beat Bedford at Hallway Field. That was 5-1 win. They beat Melvindale at Melvindale High School. That was a 1-0 win. And they beat Stony Creek, Rochester Stony Creek at Hallway Field. That was back on the 26th. That was a 1-0 lead as well. That on a set piece that got knocked in. It looked like maybe a defender had headed it out, but it was ruled that it was over the goal line, and that was the lone win, or the lone goal for Pioneer in that game. Taking a look at Huron, they are 1-2 on the season. They opened up with a couple games on the road. This is their opening home game, as a matter of fact. They visited Clarkston. That was a tight game. That was a 2-1 loss by Huron. Then they went out to Berkeley, that on the 21st of this month. That was a 1-0 loss, so another tight game. Then they came out on the winning side versus Brighton. That back on the 25th. That was a 1-0 win by Huron, but they're really looking forward to both teams, looking forward to get SEC action going. Big SEC Red matchup here between these two teams. It means that much more because it's an SEC Red matchup, and it is your arch rivals from across town. So big game today. As we'll play a few messages from the MHSAA, then we will get going with your opening kick. You're watching Pioneer Men's Soccer, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting.
Here are 5 more good reasons for multi-sport participation. Multi-sport athletes are more coachable. They have higher athletic ceilings. They become better talent in the long run. They have higher sports IQs. Their sports skills transfer, and they are better teammates. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the health and safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The love of the game draws us to sports, as players, coaches, spectators, and officials. For officials, it's a way to stay in the game they once played, to feel the thrill of putting on the uniform, stepping out of the playing surface, hustling to make the call, and building the relationships which can only be built in sports. If you still have that love for the game, we always need new officials. Register now at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The JV teams just played, and Huron won the JV matchup 4-0. So they had a very good game versus the Pioneer JV squad. Huron is in their black or maybe very, very dark green kits. They have numbers in white on the back and looks like a little crest on the front. don't believe there's any numbers on the front, but there are numbers on the shorts on the front. So we'll do our best effort to call all those out. But nice looking, very dark black kits there for Huron. Pioneer is in their white kits with the white tops. Numbers in purple on both the front and the back. Purple shorts and white socks for Pioneer. There was some rain about halfway through the JV contest, but it looks like at the moment at least it's let up, and we have some blue sky above us, fluffy clouds looking over the Huron River out to our right. Looking like it's shaping up to be a beautiful day for some big-time rivalry soccer between Huron and Pioneer. As we are counting down, we will have the public address announcer in just a few moments open things up and get things going. We don't have the starting 11 for either team at this point, but we'll do our best effort to tell you that. A good crowd was here for the JV squad. We have folks filing in for the varsity contest now, so the rain might keep a few people away, but we know we have some good, hearty soccer fans in this area as the JV teams are coming up to watch the match as well, which is fantastic. Always like to see the different squads and the different sports support each other. So we have about 45 seconds counting down. Before we get things going, both teams have gathered around their coaching staff over on the sidelines. As you can again hear everyone coming in. And we'll hope that the weather stays away and that we can have a beautiful, beautiful game between these two rivals. We'll turn things over momentarily to the public address announcer. We do want to thank the officials. We cannot have the games we love without them. You don't have to agree with every call, but we do have to have officials to have the games. If you're sitting in the stands, if you think you can do better, well, reach out to the MHSAA. We could use you as an official. We also want to thank Huron for letting us broadcast from here. We're very, very grateful for their hospitality. Always appreciate getting to come over here and broadcast games. As 40 minutes up on the clock, we'll there's the public address now, so let me see if I can turn this up a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, Honor America, the playing of the national anthem. You can hear the Huron band in the background. They're marching over to our left, and almost a missed opportunity. Would have been lovely if they could have played the national anthem for us, but they're out practicing for Friday's soccer or Friday's football game, probably. You can continue to hear the band playing as they are marching down. So they're announcing Cook coming out to the... Next coming out is Berquist for Pioneer.
live on the air, arborbroadcasting.com.
So next coming out should be Templeton. Or excuse me, that's Rifler. Next coming out is Koss for the starting 11. Owens coming out. Actually, they have announced both keepers, so it looks like they're announcing the entire team. Jacob comes out for Pioneer. Next, Amani Simwenye coming out onto the field. Next is Anderson coming out. Van Ryan heads out onto the pitch for Pioneer. Seinfeld Chop heading out. Carrillo heads out to the center of the pitch. Strickler heads towards midfield. Regan heads out onto the pitch. Shemke coming out onto the pitch for Pioneer. Moore heads out. He's got one of the captain armbands on. Heads out onto the pitch. Porsche runs out onto the pitch for Pioneer. As next is Zumko heading out for Pioneer, wearing number 18. 19 is Gomez Ruiz, who heads out onto the pitch. Number 20 is Halflin. He comes out onto the pitch. Sabi Simwenye, number 24, comes out for Pioneer. Number 25 is Werner coming out for Pioneer. 26 is Miller, who heads out onto the pitch. 27 is McCready. And 30 is Jacobson. Pioneer is coached by John Sunderman. Assistant coaches are Andy Irvine, Jacob Kronberg, and Dylan Furlong. Now first for Huron, Maldonado heads out onto the pitch. Thorson coming out for Pioneer. He's number 2, or for Huron, he's number 2. Number 3 is Diarra. 4 is Grenier. 5 is Gondesi. 6, the captain for Huron is Cook Diamond. 7 is Priestley, who comes out onto the pitch. 8 is Johnson. 9, Cassoni comes out onto the field. Esteban Mercado comes out. He's number 10. 11 is Beskin Diaz for Huron. Their captain, number 12, Brooks, heads out onto the field for Huron. Jack Regan coming out, another captain for Huron, out onto the pitch. Hamond is number 14. 15 is Poole, who comes out. 16 is Loach. Nicholas Mercado, number 17, comes out onto the pitch. Number 18 is Bowman, who comes out. Number 19 is Bielman, who comes out onto the pitch. Bowman, who comes out onto the pitch. Number 20 is Bowers. 21 is Sidibe. 23 is Harris coming out onto the pitch. 24 is Pletcher. 23 is Harris, 24 is Pletcher, and 25 is Hammond. Head coach is Luis Dominguez, excuse me. So Luis Gomez Dominguez is the head coach for Huron, and the goal coach is Eric Beeler. We already had the national anthem, so they're heading back. And we're ready to get going. First SEC matchup for both of these teams. 3-1 Pioneer, 1-2 Huron. But you never know exactly how strong these squads are until they match up versus some of the fellow SEC opponents. Both squads around their coaching staff getting last-minute instructions. 40 minutes up on the clock. We are getting ready to go. Here, Pioneer ends up staying on the road. Their next game is going to be the 31st. That will be at Dexter before they come home on the 5th of September. That is versus Skyline at Hallway Field. So that'll be a huge game. Huron bouncing up and down, cheering, getting themselves pumped up for the opening kick. As Pioneer breaks the huddle, heads out. Pioneer will be going from left to right in this, the opening half. Huron heads out, going right to left. As Berquist looks like is going to be the opening keeper for Pioneer. For Huron, it looks like it's going to be Pletcher who's going to start off between the woodwork. Moore set up right at the H. As we are ready to get things underway. Get more and more fans arriving. Nice 7 o'clock game here. Strickler and Moore right at center. Moore moves it back. That's grabbed by Jacob. Jacob heads over the center line. That's knocked away. Out of bounds by Hamad. Throw in for Pioneer. And trying to get it more, knocked away by Huron, bringing it up the far touchline. Here comes Huron, racing ahead with it, as that's Brooks on the far touchline into the attacking third. Brooks into the far corner, looking for the cross. That knocked back away, thrown right back into the 18 by Huron. That'll go out the end line, and that will result as that is going to be a corner. They'll say Pioneer touched it last. That is going to be Esteban Mercado taking the first set piece of the game. As he's in the near corner, raises both hands, arcs that over, and that goes just over the 18 and out the far touchline. That will be a throw-in for Pioneer as Owens goes over to throw that ball in. He's deep in his defensive third here. 38-44 left to go here in the first. Headed by Huron. Trying to grab that, Esteban Mercado. Still battling. Now here comes Pioneer trying to get into the middle third. And moved over onto the near side of the pitch, and Carrillo trying to get to it, but it goes out the near touchline first. So Nicholas Mercado with the throw-in on the near touchline. And over to Cook Diamond. Moved all the way back on the Huron side of center. Racing ahead with it is Diarra. Diarra. And knocked right back out the near touchline. There'll be a throw-in for Huron. Is Nicholas Mercado. Again on the near touchline, just over midfield. Pioneer side of midfield. That headed up by Koss, trying to get to it. Pioneer Seinfeld chop moves it over to Moore. Moore racing down the near side, trying to get to it is Carrillo. Carrillo holds it in the near touchline in the attacking third. Carrillo trying to get it over to Seinfeld chop. That knocked away. Good defensive play back there by Cook Diamond to take away an opportunity. That ball right on the near touchline. Battling for it is Esteban Mercado. Grabbed is Carrillo with a cross that goes all the way through the 18, and that will go on to the far touchline. Pioneer able to hold it in. Racing over Anderson trying to get to it. That poked all the way back into the middle third. But a whistle. And there's going to be a throw-in. So say that went out the far touchline. As Anderson with the throw-in deep in the attacking third. That poked a win right out of bounds. Good defensive play back there by Huron as that was Bowman knocking it away. That ball comes back, chipped all the way back into the middle third. Van Ryn has it. Van Ryn puts it on the far touchline. Knocked back. Jacob moves it over and along the near wing. Koss arcs it down the pitch. And grabbed by Carrillo on the near touchline. Carrillo back there battling against Beskin-Diaz. Throw in for Pioneer off the near touchline. Racing over. Jacob has it knocked away. Here comes Huron coming the other direction as they move it down the near side of the pitch. That intercepted by Koss. Koss gets it right back over to Strickler. Strickler moves it back into the defensive third. Van Ryn has it. Pressure back there by Priestley. Comes over onto the far wing. So I'm trying to move it over. That knocked away as Hamoud had it. Right at the block H. Pioneer trying to chip it ahead was Moore. That comes in. Here comes Carrillo. Carrillo on the edge of the 18. Carrillo trying to get a shot off that just goes wide by a couple feet to the near side. Good defense getting back there by the River Rats, as providing good defense was Beskin-Diaz. Ball set for a goal kick as Pletcher rockets it all the way back into the defensive third for Pioneer. Berquist with it in the 18. Berquist gets it over to Koss. Koss on the near side of the pitch brings it up. Koss gets it into the middle third. Over midfield. And grab now bringing it ahead. Trying to race over to get it. That played back. Controlled is knocking it away from Moore. Good defensive play back there by Brooks. The ball comes right to the middle. Anderson trying to knock it into the 18. Carrillo had it. That knocked back. Good job by Beskin-Diaz again with good defense. Strickler has it on the far side of the pitch. Back in the middle third. Strickler trying to get away from pressure. Strickler over to Jacob. Jacob gets it back to Van Ryn. Van Ryn over to Koss. Over midfield. Koss racing down the near side of the pitch. Koss arcing it, trying to get it to the 18. That tipped away. Racing over Shemke, trying to keep it, and that goes out the far touchline. That'll be a throw-in. Back over to throw that in is Sidibe for Huron. 34-25 here in the first. Scoreless so far. Battle for the ball. Grab. Here comes Huron. As Esteban Mercado launches it down the pitch. That'll go out the near touchline on the Pioneer side of the middle third. Quick throw in, played down. Carrillo trying to get to a battle on the near touchline. That goes out. Beskin-Diaz right there. That'll be a Pioneer throw in. Koss with the throw in off of the near touchline is Seinfeld chop trying to grab that. Controlled. Here comes Huron as Sidibe. Send it over to Cook Diamond. Back to Sidibe. Sidibe launches it over on the far side of the pitch. As that was fired ahead by Bowman. Now into the attacking third. Good job to knock that away back there by Pioneer. As battle for it on the far touchline. Shemke trying to fire it ahead. That launched back by Bowman. Now here comes Huron sending it down the near touchline. Grab by Nicholas Mercado. Nicholas Mercado and a collision and a whistle. And that is going to be a foul. Deep in the attacking third. This is a spot of menace for a free kick. Back to take the free kick is Cook Diamond. Also over there is Esteban Mercado. So we'll see exactly who takes this free kick as the official getting all the people set. 3-person wall by Pioneer. It's scoreless so far. 32-44 left to go here in the first. Here comes Esteban Mercado with a shot that just goes wide to the near post, just a couple feet outside the near post. 32-33 left to go here in the first. Pioneer brings the ball up. Now launches it down the far side of the pitch. Huron grabs it back to the Pioneer defense. Anderson puts it into the 18. That's grabbed by Bergquist. Launches it down the near side of the pitch. Over there to get it, Nicholas Mercado coming down the near touchline. Nicholas Mercado right by the end line, and Jacob over to knock it away, but that will earn them a corner. So next set piece here for Huron. It'll be a corner in the near corner. Esteban Mercado will be the one taking this. He'll be serving the corner. As he puts it up. That goes right through the 18. Racing over to get it is Seinfeld Chop. That will go out the far touchline. That'll be a throw-in for Huron. As they'll have Sidibe with the throw-in on the far touchline. He launches that over. Anderson gets it. Now battle for it on the far touchline. Racing back there, Jack Regan trying to get it. That goes out the far touchline. Pioneer with the throw-in. 31-13 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far, 0-0. Strickler has it, moves it back to Van Ryan. Van Ryan deep in his own defensive third on the far side of the pitch. Van Ryan moves the head down on that far touchline. Racing ahead with it. Here comes Owens. Owens arcs it down the far touchline, rocketed right back into the defensive third by Huron and out the far touchline. Pioneer with the throw-in. Van Ryan on that far touchline. Van Ryan launches it, trying to get it back to Moore. That goes out the far touchline. That will be Huron's ball. Quick throw in and flicked over center line. Picked up. Here comes Seinfeld Chop. Seinfeld Chop sends it deep into the attacking third. That plucked up by Pletcher. Pletcher moves it over in the 18, bringing it ahead. Here comes Huron as they race ahead with it. Brooks fires it down. That goes out the near touchline. Koss knocked it out, so that will be Beskin Diaz. Quickly putting it in. Van Ryan battling, going down and grabbing it. As that's Bergquist. Quickly throws it out. Gets it over to Jacob. Coming down the far side. That launched ahead. Back over Jacob. Gets it right to the center line. Huron heads it back the other direction by Brooks. There's a whistle. That will be a foul. Pioneer will have a free kick just inside the middle third on their own side. Van Ryan gets it over to Koss. Koss comes up the near side. Koss rockets it over the center line, gets it over to Moore. Moore sends it down the near touchline. Racing over to get it is Strickler, and that goes out, and that will be a Pioneer throw-in. Last touch here on Moore has it on the near touchline. Scoreless so far, 29-13 left to go here in the first. Moore trying to get it back to Carrillo. And tipped out on the near touchline. Again, that will be Pioneer with the throw-in as Nicholas Mercado providing pressure on the near touchline. Moore trying to launch it into the 18. That headed up by Huron. Racing back to get it is Strickler. Playing it down back over there is Priestley. Now Koss coming to the far side of the pitch is Sidibe. Knocks it all the way back into the defensive third. That is going to come over and that ball will go back as they'll set that on an offsides, get things going on the far touchline. Brought ahead by Beskin Diaz. Headed the other direction by Van Ryan. Played down by Anderson, gets it over to Strickler. Strickler moves it back on the other side of midfield over to Koss. Koss sends it down the near touchline, trying to get it to Moore. Nicholas Marcado getting in the way. Fired all the way into the 18. Grabbed there by Pletcher. Pletcher puts it over on the far side. Launched ahead by Bowman. Ball in the middle third. Pioneer trying to control. They play it back over to Owens. Owens back just inside the middle third. Van Ryan gets it over on the near touchline. Koss keeping it from going out. Gets it over to Strickler. Strickler coming down the near side of the pitch. Puts it into the near corner. Carrillo looking for a cross. And Brooks pokes that out the near touchline, stopping the rush for Pioneer. Quickly get it over to Moore. Moore trying to put it deep, looking for the cross, trying to turn on it. That gets deflected out by Bescan-Diaz. Again, another throw in by Moore here on the near touchline. He's about 10 feet north of the corner. Trying to get it in. That knocked back by Bescan-Diaz again. Now shot right into the 18, but plucked up there by Pletcher. Pletcher comes out to the edge of the 18, waiting for his team to move a little further down the pitch. 26 minutes, 50 seconds left to go. Here in a scoreless first. Rolls it over onto the near side of the pitch. Racing ahead with it is Diarra. Diarra has that intercepted by Koss right at the center line. Koss moves it back to Van Ryan. Van Ryan gets it over onto the far side of the pitch over to Owens. Owens trying to get it over the center line right on the far touch line as I believe that was Reifler trying to feed it ahead. And we'll go out the far touch line right in front of the Pioneer bench. Quick throw in by Huron. Brooks with it. Brooks gets it into the middle third. That tip down the near touchline. Racing for it. Koss knocks it out the near touchline as there was a definite spot of danger as Cook Diamond was racing down the pitch. With it, Esteban Marcado moves it back over the center line. Bringing it up is Bowman. Bowman launches it deep into the attacking third. That headed up by Priestley into the 18. As Bergquist has it. That is going to be offsides. Pioneer will have a free kick moved over to Koss. Koss up the near side. Koss sends it just shy of midfield, trying to feed it ahead. That's stolen away by the River Rats. Grabbing it, coming the other direction. It's Jack Regan. Launched down into the near corner. Nicholas Mercado was trying to get to it. That will be off a Pioneer. Nicholas Mercado has it on the near touchline, looking for the throw-in. 25-22 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far. Throwing right, and the Pioneer trying to get that into the middle third. Battling with it. Moore feeds it over the center line, racing over to get it. And pulled away by Brooks. Brooks sends it back into the 18. And that will go out the near touchline as Pletcher fires it down. Moore with the throw-in. Seinfeld chop knocked that down, but Brooks has it. Brooks just outside the 18 for Huron. Moves that over to Bowman. Bowman on the far touchline. Bowman trying to bring it up. Bowman larks it all the way down the pitch. Owens right on the far touchline. Gets that ahead as Reifler battling on that far touchline. Moves it back over to Anderson. Trying to take it away was Priestley. That bombed all the way back into the attacking third for Pioneer. Launched the other direction by Bowman. High arcing pass, grabbed back there by Owens. Knocked right back over as the ball volleyed. Fired ahead by Pioneer, but lifted right back by the Huron defense. Priestley sends it across the pitch near the near touch line. That knocked, and that'll go out off of Huron. Again, that was Bescan-Diaz. Played down off the body, trying to feed it ahead. More on the near touchline. Bescan-Diaz steals it away. Loses an edge as he fires it back into the 18, where Pletcher had it. That deflected, trying to get to it. Trying to move over to get that was Carrillo, and Pletcher able to knock that away. Gets a nice round of applause from the home crowd. Picked up here. Nicholas Mercado trying to move it ahead. That knocked away by Strickler. Moore has it. Here comes Strickler right over the center. Bringing at Anderson. Anderson sends it down the far side of the pitch over to Reifler. Reifler working against Sidibe. Reifler down the far touchline looking for the cross, looking to turn on it. That poked away back there by Jack Regan. And to go out the far touchline. Reifler with the throw-in on the far touchline. Rifler launches it, that headed up. I believe that was Brooks. Played down back, turning with it. More. Top of the attacking third, sending Carrillo. Had it. Now that launched by Bowman. High rainbow kick all the way down over to Moore on the near touchline for Pioneer. Feeds it into the near corner. Carrillo trying to get over, but that was a slide tackle knocking it out. Back there by Diarra. Throw in by Moore on the near touchline. Just a few feet north of the corner. We are here at Riverbank Stadium, home of the Huron River Rats. 22 minutes, 25 seconds left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far between these two SEC Red foes. Moore arcs it into the 18, that headed out. Good defense back there by Diarra. And grabbed as it was volleyed and launched into the 18. Pletcher with it. Pletcher comes out to the edge of the 18, motioning for his team to go further down the pitch. 22 minutes even left to go in the first. Scoreless so far. That ball goes all the way down past Priestley. Not the other direction. Trying to get to it. Jacob, that pulled away. Here comes Jack Regan. Jack Regan feeds it down the middle. Chipped ahead by Huron coming over. Here comes Priestley. Priestley, edge of the 18. Saved by Bergquist. Headed down. And Bergquist able to grab it on a bounce. Good pressure by Huron. Good save by Bergquist. And good defense as Ryan back there trying to help out as well.
Nice pressure, keep it up.
Back in the 18, Bergquist moves it over. They have volleyed ahead by Koss all the way back to the edge of the middle third. Trying to get it is Seinfeld chop. That will go out the far touchline. That will be a throw-in as Sidibe will have it on that far touchline. Now they have, I believe that's Bowman to throw it in. 20 minutes and 55 seconds left to go here in the first. Still scoreless. Bowman trying to get it over to Baskin Diaz. That knocked away. Ball fed ahead. That launch by Diarra. And we'll go all the way out over the benches and into the visiting stands. That'll be a throw-in by Rifler on the far touchline. Rifler trying to get it deep into the attacking third. That plucked up by Pletcher in the 18. Pletcher will wait for his team to get further down the pitch. Pletcher has shown that he has quite the leg, able to pound it right past midfield. Bowman arcs it all the way back. That will roll into the 18. Grabbed there by Bergquist. Bergquist gets it over to Koss on the near side. Koss brings it up in his own defensive third. Koss getting into the middle third, trying to avoid pressure by Huron as Nicholas Mercado knocks it away. That moved over onto the near wing. Here comes, and to get to it, Esteban Mercado. That deflected up high. Back, Jack Regan trying to get to it. That is going to be, there's a offsides called.
All right, no problem, keep it up.
19 minutes, 38 seconds left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far. Van Ryan will kick it away from the spot of the offsides, back in his own defensive third. It's about 10 yards into his defensive third. Gets it over to Jacob. Jacob quickly over to Koss, just outside the near touchline. Koss firing it down the near touchline over to Moore. Moore back to Koss. Koss approaching midfield, trying to feed it ahead and over to Seinfeld Chop. Seinfeld Chop gets it to Moore. Moore races down the near wing. Moore feeds it all the way over onto the far wing. Racing ahead, Rifler jumping in the way. Bowman, that deflects high up in the air. Seinfeld Chop trying to pull that down. That grabbed and heading the other direction. Good job back there by Beskin Diaz. That ball goes over midfield. Beskin Diaz has it on the far touchline, putting it into the far corner. Racing over to get it is Hamad. And we'll go out. That is going to be a throw-in, as I believe that's Brooks with the throw-in. Controlled Huron, moves it over. Esteban Mercado has that knocked away. Back towards center, grabbed there by Bowman. Bowman right down the far touchline, feeding it in and getting tangled up. Rifler and Beskin Diaz got tangled up Bescandias fixes his tie on his boot and gets the help up. Now launched into the 18. Bergquist grabs it. As that was fired back over there by Jack Regan. Brought quickly ahead down the far touchline. Seinfeld chop has it. That deflects out of bounds. Bescandias with the throw-in. As trying to fire it over. Controlled by Hamad. Popped up high. Trying to race over to get it is Anderson. That goes out the far touchline. Bescandias. Quick throw-in. As that's over to Jack Regan. Battle for it. As Pioneer pulls it away. That knocked back. Now launched by Moore. That'll go right to the center line. Chipped there by Seinfeld chop. Now Bowman trying to send it the other direction. Control back over. Here comes Carrillo. Carrillo firing it deep. Trying to get it around Diarra. And that rocketed the other direction by Pletcher. Koss goes all the way back into his own defensive third, avoiding pressure by the River Rats. As right back there providing pressure was Cassani. Nicholas Mercado with the throw-in, gets it right back, moves it over. Jack Regan battling on the near touchline. That pulled back by Jacob. Here comes Pioneer as Strickler has it. Strickler, as that slide tackle, as that was Nicholas Mercado with the slide tackle. There's a yellow card. The 17 and the 11, it's they're really nice, easy to read numbers on the back of the Huron jerseys, but they're kind of narrow. So the 11 and the 17, hopefully I don't mess that up too much, so they look similar. That is going to be a free kick inside the middle third, about 7 yards inside the middle third. On the Huron side of the middle third, Jacob there. Everyone else gets down and set. 16:23 left to go. Jacob arcs it into the 18. That headed up and launched. And that will go out the end line. That'll result in a goal kick as it was fired from the far side of midfield. 16:06 here in the first. Scoreless first. Pletcher looks to kick it away. Pletcher moves it short. Brooks with it. Brooks trying to launch it ahead. Gets it over to Cook Diamond. Cook Diamond over to Jack Regan. Jack Regan back to Cook Diamond. Now moves over to Bowman. Bowman on the far side of the pitch. Launched all the way over to the near side of the pitch. Over to Sidibe. And that skips right out the near touchline. Moore with it. Moore with a quick throw in. Over to Koss. That deflected right out the near touchline as Esteban Mercado was right there. Be a throw in by Pioneers Koss on the near touchline. Koss, it's a running start, trying to arc it down. Played off the body, fired ahead by Diarra for Huron. Deflected back, popped up by Van Ryan. Trying to get to it is Moore. And will go on the near touchline. Grabbed by Sidibe. And will be a restart. Diarra moves it back over to Brooks. Brooks feeds it over to Bowman on the far touchline. Bowman arcs it all the way ahead. And tipped by Koss. Back on the far touchline. Over to get it. Hamad. That goes out the far touchline. That's Bescandias with the throw-in. Headed. Pioneer trying to feed it. That goes right out in front of the Huron bench. There'll be a throw-in again by Bescandias. Actually, now they will have a throw-in over there by Cook Diamond. Knocked away. Racing back over to get it. Diarra has it, but whistle, and it's going to be a restart as Van Ryan has it. Just inside his own defensive third. 14:03 left to go here. In a scoreless first, sent over midfield. Grabbed by Bowman. Bowman moves it the other direction. Played down by Esteban Mercado. Esteban Mercado looking to turn on it. Feeds that back over to Diarra. Diarra over the center line. Diarra trying to launch it. Van Ryn had it over to Strickler. And trying to play it down was Cassoni. Jacob has it. Jacob tips it back to Koss for Pioneer. That over to Strickler. Strickler gets it down on the far touchline for Reifler, and that goes out right at the center line. Quick throw in as Huron is playing tempo. Trying to get it over to Cassoni. That goes out the far touchline again, right in front of the Huron bench. Beskin Diaz with it over there. Beskin Diaz with the throw in. And over to Esteban Mercado. Esteban Mercado gets it back to Beskin Diaz, who launches it right at the top of the 18. And Koss. That gets knocked out the end line. That will be a corner. As here comes another Huron set piece. That'll be in the far corner. Back over there to get it is Beskin Diaz. Looks like he's going to take this corner with 12 minutes, 44 seconds left to go in the scoreless first. Beskin Diaz raises both hands. Now puts his left foot into it. That headed up. And that'll go out. The end line is right there was Diarra. That will become a goal kick. As Bergquist gets it over to Van Ryn. Van Ryn in the 18, Van Ryn. Now arcs it down the pitch. That popped up high by Cook Diamond trying to get to it. Battle a pair of 13s back there as Jack Regan and Strickler battling. Pioneer comes away with it. Jacob back over to Koss. Koss on the near side of the pitch. Ahead to Moore. Moore just in the middle third. Right on the edge of the middle third. Moves it back over to Owens. Owens brings it up the far side of the pitch. Back there battling with Hamad. It goes out the far touchline. Bowman with the throw-in. Still scoreless here in the first. 11:36 left to go. Firing it ahead, Cook Diamond into the 18, and that grabbed by Bergquist. Bergquist standing in the 18. Now he'll put his foot into it, spinning, arcing kick right to the middle line. Headed the other direction by Brooks, now fired ahead by Carrillo. Racing down, here comes Moore. Moore approaching the 18. Moore with the shot, and that's saved. Good save by Pletcher on a good attempt by Moore.
Nice hustle.
Pletcher coming back. Also good job by the Huron defense. I believe that was Diarra racing back to put pressure on Moore so he couldn't take his time. Pletcher feeds it down the middle of the pitch. That chip back over to Bowman in the far corner. Bowman trying to lift it ahead as Zumko back there trying to provide pressure. Rainbowed high up in the air, headed back. Grabbed by Jacob. Jacob played over as Patrick Regan trying to pull it away for Pioneer. That topped up by Koss. Esteban Mercado trying to head it, and there was a whistle as I believe he ended up going over a Pioneer player. Judgment call there by the official. 10 minutes, 10 seconds left to go here in the first half. Scoreless so far. Koss has it. Koss will be right at the edge, just inside the defensive third. Now into the middle third. Here comes Koss. Koss sends it over the center line. Sidibe moves it ahead. Esteban Mercado has that knocked away by Koss. Now picked up. Coming ahead, here comes Jack Regan. Jack Regan dribbles to his right. Moves it over, trying to get it over to Cassoni. That goes out the near touchline. 9:37 left to go here in a scoreless first. Moore with the throw in on the near touchline. Moore arcs it ahead, right over the center line. Coming over, Zumko. Trying to move it over to Carrillo. That pulled away. Fired the other direction by Jack Regan, right at the middle center line. Owens trying to fire it ahead to Strickler. And down on the far side, Reifler fires it into the 18, and that goes all the way through and out the end line, about 10 feet to the near side of the near post. Under 9 minutes to go here in the first half, still scoreless. Pletcher will kick it away from the 6. Fletcher waiting. Substitutions coming in as Carrillo goes out. And Seinfeld Chop comes in for Pioneer. Fletcher lofts it deep down the pitch. That headed back over. Trying to get to it is Zumko. Now here comes Moore. Moore down the near side. Moore takes it, fires it down the pitch, racing over. Diarra knocks it out the end line. That will be a corner for Pioneer. Diarra stopping a rush for Pioneer there. Jacob comes over to take the corner. Jacob has it set in the near corner. As he'll step back. Raises both hands, puts his right foot into it, gets it into the 18, as that's batted back by Fletcher, and he dove up and ended up going over top of another player. He looks like he's all right as that comes all the way onto the far side of the pitch. Reifler trying to fire it back deep into the attacking third for Pioneer. Back over to grab it is Career. Down on the center of the pitch. Moved over. Jacob puts it down on the near touchline, and Moore can't quite corral it just in front of him, and that will go out in the near touchline. Cook Diamond with the throw-in as 7 minutes now left to go here in the first, still scoreless, as that goes right off of Gondisi. As Gondisi took it off the body, and that will be a throw-in. Incoming is Sabi Simwinye for Pioneer. Played down, Seinfeld Chop trying to turn on it, pokes it over, and Zumko can't quite keep it from going out the near touchline. Good effort, but it just sneaks past, and that'll be a throw-in for the River Rats. Cook Diamond wafts it ahead. That poke back towards the center of the pitch. Moved ahead by Patrick Regan. Here comes Strickler. Strickler fires it. Bowman takes it off the body. That deflects back into the middle third. Patrick Regan gets it ahead to Strickler. That again knocked away back there. I believe that was moved ahead by Beskin-Diaz. Launch played down by Career. Battle for it right at the center line. Headed up, racing over to get it is Kasani. Played down. Here comes Strickler. Pulled away. Move as that's launched ahead by Cook Diamond. Pioneer controls. Koss on the near side. Koss gets it over to Jacob. Jacob back over to Van Ryan, center of the pitch. Now that moved over to Owens. Owens brings it up the far side of the pitch. That right on the far touchline. Reifler with it. Reifler arcs it over the center line. That volleyed right back the other direction by Huron. Headed by Van Ryan right to the center line. Pulled away. Breaking ahead with it is Harris. Harris trying to move it. Harris racing and then knocked away. I believe that was Owens who got in the way and popped that out. Cook Diamond again on the near touchline with the throw-in. Under 5 minutes left to go. Scoreless so far here in the first half. Controlled, played down. Now Jacob trying to get it ahead. That tipped over by Zumko over to Strickler. Strickler over the center line. Strickler coming down the center of the pitch. Moves it over onto the near wing. Here comes Zumko. Zumko just outside the 18 trying to fire it. That goes off of Diarra, and that will be a corner for Pioneer. 4 minutes, 30 seconds left to go here in the first. Still scoreless. Pioneer hopes to change that on this set piece as Jacob goes into the near corner to kick that away. Jacob moves back, raises both hands, arcs it into the 18. That tipped away. Good job knocking that back by Fletcher. All the way down the far touchline. Played back. Now grabbed by Van Ryan as I believe that was Reifler getting tangled up, and that will be a free kick for Huron. As that'll be fired all the way ahead. Headed up. Trying to get to it is Patrick Regan. Patrick Regan moves it back over to Rifler. Rifler trying to avoid pressure by Poole. Controlled by Bowman. Bowman battling back there, trying to get that away from Zumko. Huron gets it right over center. That intercepted by Rifler. Rifler over to Jacob. Jacob trying to get it back to going the other direction. As Sabi Simwenya. There's a shot and a save! Oh, Seinfeld chop. Got that ball just outside of the 18. Turned and fired, and a good save by Pletcher. And Pletcher kicks it all the way down, headed the other direction by Koss. Trying to get that to Sabi Simwenya. And will go out the near touchline. Grabbed by Cook Diamond. Cook Diamond on the near touchline. 2 minutes, 33 seconds left to go. Zumko goes out. Porsche comes in for Pioneer. Substitution. Still scoreless with 2 minutes, 20 seconds left. Cook Diamond trying to arc it into the middle third. That back into the defensive third for Pioneer. Van Ryan arcs it the other direction. Trying to get it is Porsche. That comes back. Brooks controls. Brooks heads towards the near side of the pitch. Brooks now cutting across the pitch, coming over to the far side. Brooks has that poke back away, back onto the defensive side. Bowman gets it over. Picked up there by Diarra. Diarra ends up going down. Seinfeld chop goes over to check on him. Will be a foul and a kick for Huron. Bowman back. Bowman. Short kick over to the far side. Brooks rainbowing it forward, trying to loft it over. Gets it over to Locht. Back. Brooks with it again right at the center line. Pedal for right on the far touchline. That goes out. That will be a Pioneer throw-in on the far touchline. Owens with it. 1 minute, 14 seconds left to go. Here in the first, the ball back over to Owens, down right on that far touchline. Pioneer trying to poke it ahead. Shemke over there. Patrick Regan trying to get to it, under a minute left to go here in the first. That goes right back out the far touchline. Owens wafting it into the attacking third knockback. Patrick Regan for Pioneer sends it back right to the center line. Grab brought ahead. Launched by McCready just outside the 18. Knocked down. Sent over to Cook Diamond. Cook Diamond gets it back over to Diarra. Diarra ahead. Here comes Cassoni. That is going to be a yellow card. Yes, that's going to be a yellow card, and we'll have a substitution. As coming in is Moore. Cook Diamond with the free kick. Launched all the way down towards the 18. Headed up by Pioneer. Kicked by Patrick Regan back into the middle third. Bowman launches it high up in the air. Van Ryan trying to knock it. That will go out the far touchline. 7 seconds left to go. Huron trying to hurry as they try and arc it in. And it's sent into the 18 and grabbed by Berquist. And that will do it for the opening half. Scoreless so far in the opening half. Battle between these two SEC Red foes. As we will take a break, play some messages from the MHSAA, and we will be right back with the battle between these crosstown rivals. You are watching Pioneer Men's Varsity Soccer, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting.
Here are 5 more good reasons for multi-sport participation. Multi-sport athletes are more coachable. They have higher athletic ceilings. They become better talent in the long run. They have higher sports IQs. Their sports skills transfer, and they are better teammates. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the health and safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The love of the game draws us to sports, as players, coaches, spectators, and officials. For officials, it's a way to stay in the game they once played, to feel the thrill of putting on the uniform, stepping out of the playing surface, hustling to make the call, and building the relationships which can only be built in sports. If you still have that love for the game, we always need new officials. Register now at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Sportsmanship has never been more important between the lines in athletics and outside those lines in our communities. To listen, to respect, to understand, to practice common decency, to have competition without contentiousness. Sportsmanlike qualities are essential components of life itself. Let's all work together to not only be good sports, but good people. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Have we gotten to the point where at some high school game that an official has finally had enough from coaches, players, and adults, pulls off the whistle, and offers it to you? Let's hope not. There's no way you could do a better job. It's on everyone to promote good sportsmanship. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Nearly 2,000 of the state's top student athletes will be recognized for excelling academically and in school activities through the MHSAA's Scholar Athlete Award, underwritten by Farm Bureau Insurance. The applicants will be in the running for a total of 32 $1,000 college scholarships. Application materials are available exclusively online through the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Can you go anywhere and find an endeavor in society where we've come to accept and tolerate an adult, and even kids, treating another adult the way we allow spectators, coaches, and players to treat a high school game official? Can you? No one has the right to abuse game officials. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
live here at halftime from Riverbank Stadium, where it is scoreless between your Pioneer men's varsity soccer team and the Huron River Rats. Let's go over the SEC Red scores from this past week. We talked about already. Pioneer beat Temperance Bedford back on the 21st, 5-1. It was Huron falling to Berkeley 1-0. Gibraltar Carlson and Monroe had a 1-1 draw, and Saline beat Midland Dow by a score of 1-0. On the 22nd, it was Dexter beating Hazlitt 2-1. Temperance Bedford beat Ypsilanti Community 3-1, and Belleville beat Ypsilanti Lincoln 1-0. Back on the 23rd, it was Saline beating Grosse-Ile by a score of 6-0. On the 24th, Pioneer beat Melvindale 1-0. No score reported between Monroe and Onstead. Ypsilanti Lincoln beat Pinckney by a score of 5-0. And it was Toledo Maumee Valley beating Temperance Bedford by a score of 5-1. Back on the 25th, Huron beat Brighton by a score of 1-0, and it was Monroe beating Trenton by a score of 5-0. Then back on the 26th, Pioneer beat Rochester's Hill Stony Creek 1-0. And on the 28th, it was Ann Arbor Skyline visiting Pontiac Notre Dame Prep, and that was a 1-0 win by Skyline. Other games going on today, Temperance Bedford is all the way out at Grand Rapids Ottawa Hills. That's a tough midweek game to play. And Ida is being hosted by Monroe. 2 minutes and counting down. Let's see if we can come over and switch and give you some SEC white scores here as well. Taking a look at the SEC white, it was Jackson beating Eaton Rapids back on the 21st, 1-0. Adrian beat Hillsdale 7-0, and it was 8-0. New Boston Huron beating Tecumseh on the 22nd. Pinckney beat Brighton Charles Stockwell Prep 2-0. It was, and we talked about Temperance Bedford and Ypsilanti Community playing. The Adrian Milan game was canceled or postponed on the 23rd. On the 24th, it was Ypsilanti Lincoln beating Pinckney 5-0. On the 26th, Adrian beat Clinton 2-1. On the it was Milan beating Pinckney on the 26th 8-0. Adrian beat Chelsea on the 28th, 3-1. Jackson beat Pinckney 5-0, and it was Ypsilanti Community putting it on Tecumseh 8-1. That is your SEC scoreboard report. We have less than a minute to go before the second half kicks off. Still scoreless here between Pioneer and Huron, looking to get an early SEC Red win between these two teams. Let's play a little push on, and we will be right back with your second half action. Both squads have had some great opportunities and some really good defensive stops. It is scoreless so far here. As the clock counts down to 0, we'll get 40 minutes up on the clock. Pioneer is going from right to left. Huron in left to right. Again, Huron in the black kits with the white numbers on the back, black shorts and black socks. Pioneer is in their white kits with the purple numbers on the front and back, purple shorts and white socks. We're looking to get the second half underway. Cassoni set right at the block H. "40 minutes is up on the clock. Just waiting for the official to get the ball set in the center circle. And we're about to get things underway. Cassani gets it back over. Brooks bringing it down onto, that was Jack Regan down on the near side. Sent back onto the defensive side. There's Brooks. Brooks moves it over as Pletcher rockets it all the way down. McCready over on that far side, intercepted by Huron. Battle for it on the far touchline, trying to come away with it, McCready. That grab, looking to turn on it over there is Seinfeld Chop. That pull back is Goddessy has it. Now Pioneer coming away with it. That over. Anderson gets it to Porsche. Porsche into the near corner. Porsche stops it there on the near touchline. Makes a nice little nutmeg coming down the far touchline. That fired into the 18, and that will go out of bounds. As we approach the 39-minute mark, 1 minute gone, that will be a corner for Pioneer. Porsche with it to take the corner. First set piece of the second half. That's launched into the 18, and that will go out the end line. That will be a goal kick for Huron. Trying to make sure. I think it's still Pletcher. Yes, it's still Pletcher. In between the woodwork, that tipped out the far touchline. Anderson had it. There'll be a throw-in for Huron. Or no, there'll be a throw-in for Pioneer. On that far touchline, Shemke trying to get it deep. Brooks knocks it right back out the far touchline. Shemke again on that far touchline, trying to get it over. Carrillo pops it up high. That knocked back by Cook Diamond, trying to feed it ahead as that comes down the far touchline. Here comes Huron with it. As that's a slide tackle out off of Shemke. So Huron lofts it in the far touchline. McCready, and sent all the way back and moved into the 18. That is going to be Cook for Pioneer. So Pioneer did make a goal change. Berquist played the first half. Cook playing the second half. Pioneer has it right in the middle third as Jacob puts it on the far touchline for McCready. McCready moves it back over to Van Ryan. Van Ryan sends it across the pitch over on the near side as Koss trying to feed it ahead. That's stolen away. Bringing it ahead is Priestley. Priestley with the cross, trying to get it over to Jack Regan. And knocked back towards center. Here comes Seinfeld Chop. Seinfeld Chop moved it down on the far side, trying to get to a Carrillo. That back over to Cook Diamond. Cook Diamond up the far side. Sent right back. And controlled by Gondezi. Bringing it ahead, Esteban Mercado. And knocked back and out the far touchline. There'll be a throw-in for Pioneer. Shemke had it, but Shemke will leave that. As McCready launches that right at the center line. Pioneer fires it as Strickler gets it over onto the near side of the pitch, and that just off across his foot goes out the near touchline. Quick as Hamad gets it back. And launched ahead by Bowman, grabbed by Anderson. Anderson trying to get it over to Carrillo. Bowman races down the near touchline, back into his own defensive third, and he'll poke that out the near touchline. That'll be a throw-in for Pioneer. Porsche has it on the near touchline. Porsche gets it over to Carrillo. Carrillo down the near side. Carrillo. That'll go out the near touchline as Esteban Mercado providing pressure as that's headed up by Brooks. Stout trying to get it into the middle third. Porsche trying to get to it. That popped up over by Jacob. Jacob has it for Pioneer and deflected back over there by Beskin-Diaz. Beskin-Diaz has been tough on the defensive side. Here comes Huron racing down the far side, trying to cut into the middle. Beskin-Diaz. Pioneer trying to pull that away on the far touchline. Comes over to Van Ryan. Van Ryan over to McCready. McCready sends it up the far touchline. And slid and poked back, but there's going to be a whistle. That'll be a foul as Jack Regan trying to poke it back. 35 minutes left to go here in the second. Still scoreless between Pioneer and Huron. Van Ryan gets it over to McCready. McCready down the far touchline. That's sent back. McCready lofts it, trying to get it into the 18. That poked away by Brooks. Sent the other direction by Jacob. Now loose in the middle third. And pulled back over by Hamad. Fed ahead, trying to turn on it is Seinfeld Chop. Seinfeld Chop racing down the far side of the pitch. Seinfeld Chop trying to get across as that's knocked down, coming over. Anderson, good defense by Huron to feed it ahead. As a fantastic defensive play, and then Huron chips it back, and now Bowman will launch it all the way down the pitch. I believe that was Esteban Mercado who had that good stop. Van Ryan with it, his own defensive third, brings it ahead for Pioneer. Over to Strickler. Strickler over on the far side of the pitch, trying to get it past, but that knocked away by Jack Regan. Starting the Huron rush the other direction. Knocked away by Anderson. Right at the center of the pitch, spinning on it. Seinfeld Chop gets it over to Strickler. Strickler up the near swing, gets it over to Porsche. Porsche heads towards the center of the pitch, launches it into the 18, and that will go out the end line. About 5 feet to the far side of the far post. 33 minutes, 27 seconds left to go here in the second. Scoreless so far. Here from Riverbank Stadium, home of Huron High School. Soccer, football, and more. Lacrosse. End up over here playing lacrosse as well versus them. Here comes Huron, as I believe that's Bowman up the near wing. Gets that ahead over to Priestley. Priestley has that deflected out the near touchline, but that will be a throw-in for Huron. Played down, brought ahead. Bowman trying to feed it through traffic. Condesi had it. Now that controlled by Strickler. Strickler trying to avoid pressure by Jack Regan. And it's sent back to the Pioneer defense. McCready up the far side of the pitch. And that will be right to the far touchline. Turning on it, battle for it. And sent back onto the defensive side for Huron. Trying to get it right over to Jack Regan. And it goes out the end line, or out the far touchline. Shemke with the throw-in. Over to Strickler. Strickler just on the edge of the attacking third. Strickler heads back into the middle third. Gets it over to Koss. Koss right at the center line. Lofts it deep into the 18, and that grabbed by Pletcher as pressure coming. Racing down the middle was Carrillo. Bowman has it. Bowman gets it top of the 18. Is racing ahead with it. Here comes Huron. As they launch it all the way down the near touchline, and Van Ryan will knock it out the near touchline. Quickly, Priestley throws it in. Gets that back over to Beskin-Diaz. Beskin-Diaz down the near side, and that deflected right out the near touchline again. Priestley inbounds again, this time to Esteban Mercado. Esteban Mercado heads towards the center of the pitch. That deflected away by Koss, coming the other direction. Here comes Strickler. Strickler racing ahead with it. Strickler lofts it down. Brooks racing to get it. Now that launched by Pletcher all the way over midfield and out the far touchline. Right in front of the Pioneer bench. McCready with the throw-in. McCready right over the center line. Tipped ahead by Seinfeld Chop. Now racing back to get it is Cook Diamond on his own defensive third. Cook Diamond comes up the far side of the pitch. Cook Diamond moves it ahead and colliding, ending up down on the pitch. Was a Huron player. I believe that was Jack Regan. Lofted all the way back. That grabbed by Cook for Pioneer in the 18. Cook motioning for his players to head down the pitch. 30 minutes 45 seconds left to go here in the second. Scoreless so far as that ball arcs just over the center line. Back Huron trying to control. Anderson trying to poke that away. Now Seinfeld Chop racing to get it. Bowman puts his leg out. Seinfeld Chop able to work through pressure. Getting it over. Carrillo top of the 18. And a great defensive play back on the near side as that was Cook Diamond who stopped that attempt by Pioneer. Carrillo getting it over to Porsche. Porsche brought it back. Top of the 18, that collided, grabbing it over Priestley. Priestley sends it back. Huron sending it ahead. Grabbed by Jack Regan. Now pulled away. Here comes Jacob. Jacob the other direction with that shot. And that knocked by Pletcher out. As that just maybe a foot to the near post. To the outside of the near post. That will be a corner for Pioneer. 29 minutes, 45 seconds left to go here. Scoreless so far. That is going to be Jacob. As substitutions coming in, Pioneer gathering around their coaching staff. Huron coming over around their coaching staff.
Well, they're not rushing him off the field.
So it was a corner. They're moving everyone off, trying to tell if I heard someone in the crowd say there was lightning back behind the press box, but we, of course, can't see it. That would be the side without the windows. So that would be hard to tell. They've stopped the clock at 29:29. And if everyone's going in, it looks like Huron is going into the locker room. At that point, if they did see lightning, they'll have everyone vacate the stands, and it will be half an hour between lightning strikes.
Hello, everyone. There was lightning seen behind us. We are in a delay.
So 8:15, there will be a delay of half an hour since when they saw the lightning strike.
We have to leave the stadium per protocol. I apologize for that.
So everyone will have to leave the stadium. We'll hang out here and keep the broadcast going. But again, a lightning strike was seen, so half an hour. Everyone will rush out and rush back in, and hopefully we'll get this game finished. There was rain earlier, and we were hoping that things had passed us by, but you don't want any of the fans or any of these players injured by severe weather, so better safe than sorry. And everyone will step away, and we'll give it half an hour. Hopefully there won't be any other lightning strikes out there, and we'll get to continue this game scoreless so far with 29 minutes, 29 seconds left to go. As a series of birds fly across as the Canadian geese let themselves be heard. The great Canadian Air Force buzzes the Riverbank Stadium. Those Canadian geese are not friendly, but that's okay. Much different than the Canadian folks who tend to be awful friendly folk. All right, well, we'll play some messages. Again, they're clearing out the stadium, and they will. Again, the lightning strike was back behind us, so we'll take half an hour. The marching band is now marching back from their practice across the way. We'll play a few messages. We'll be back. If there are no other lightning strikes, we'll get going at 8:45.
Here are 5 more good reasons for multi-sport participation. Multi-sport athletes are more coachable. They have higher athletic ceilings. They become better talent in the long run. They have higher sports IQs. Their sport skills transfer, and they are better teammates. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the health and safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The love of the game draws us to sports, as players, coaches, spectators, and officials. For officials, it's a way to stay in the game they once played, to feel the thrill of putting on the uniform, stepping out of the playing surface, hustling to make the call, and building the relationships which can only be built in sports. If you still have that love for the game, we always need new officials. Register now at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Sportsmanship has never been more important between the lines in athletics and outside those lines in our communities. To listen, to respect, to understand, to practice common decency, to have competition without contentiousness. Sportsmanlike qualities are essential components of life itself. Let's all work together to not only be good sports, but good people. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Have we gotten to the point where at some high school game that an official has finally had enough from coaches, players, and adults, pulls off the whistle, and offers it to you? Let's hope not. There's no way you could do a better job. It's on everyone to promote good sportsmanship. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Nearly 2,000 of the state's top student athletes will be recognized for excelling academically and in school activities through the MHSAA's Scholar Athlete Award, underwritten by Farm Bureau Insurance. The applicants will be in the running for a total of 32 $1,000 college scholarships. Application materials are available exclusively online through the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Can you go anywhere and find an endeavor in society where we've come to accept and tolerate an adult, and even kids, treating another adult the way we allow spectators, coaches, and players to treat a high school game official? Can you? No one has the right to abuse game officials. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
As I believe I just heard someone out there say they saw another strike that would be 8:23. So at that point, it would be 8:53 before we could be back. So keep that in mind as everyone has now gone to their cars and the teams are gathered around in the locker room or right around where that garage is across the way. Looking at the radar, it does look like there's a swath of storms going from Lansing and kind of moving south across the way to Detroit and kind of skirting just north of us. There was some major rain during the JV game, but that tapered off, so we were really hoping that we might get through this game unscathed, but Mother Nature, well, she has other ideas, so we will continue to update you as we get any information. Still, everyone hoping to get the remaining 29 minutes, 29 seconds in of this game. It is scoreless so far. So let's play a little bit more music, and we'll be right back. We are in a weather delay for another half an hour. We have just received word that the game has been called. They believe that there will be more lightning strikes. They've continued to see them, so the game has been called at the 29-29 mark in the second, 0-0. That is the game. The officials making their way off of the field, the teams gathered around. I know both of these teams wanted to try and get that first win. I don't know if they'll reschedule the remainder or if they'll just call it a draw. When we get more information, we will let you know. But for the safety of the fans, for the safety of the players and everyone involved, the game has been called. So at the 29-29 mark, it is 0-0, and the game is over, at least for tonight. Thank you very much for my camera person, James Wiseman. My name is Mark Wiseman. Have a fantastic rest of your evening. We will be back tomorrow with the Michigan Women's Hockey Coaches Show, and then we will be live Friday, 7 p.m. from Pioneer High School Hallway Field, where it is the Pioneer men's varsity football team taking on the Lincoln Rail Splitters. Thank you, and have a great evening.